How is it going, PokeMoshPit? My name is Tommy, and today I'm bringing you a match against a guy called House of Wolves from the Smoke and Battle Finder. Now, I looked at his team, and the one kind of underlying weakness in the team I spotted was that it is very weak to physical Golduck. Now, what you ask is a physical Golduck? Hone Claws, Cross Chop, Ice Punch, and Aqua Jet is the set I'm running on this guy, and I've never really seen one used before, but I reckon the fact that it does get access to a lot of these kind of low accuracy, high power moves, like Zen Headbutt or Aqua Tail, Cross Chop, kind of gives it good scope for using a physical Hone Claw set, and to be fair, Golduck's physical attack is only slightly lower than its special attack, so I think it kind of works out. So anyways, I'm going to go for a Toxic here on the incoming Bravery here. He kind of surprised me with the Mirror Coat there, which makes me kind of glad I didn't go for the Stealth Rock, but either way, it kind of works out for me as the Bravery can't really touch my Wormadam. I mean, had he gone for Brave Bird there, and I assume he's Choice Scarfed, had he locked himself into Brave Bird, I would have probably stayed in anyway, just because Wormadam is the thing I care least about, so gonna go for Toxic on the incoming Rocky Balboa here, just because I can. Now he goes for Stealth Rock, and Wormadam is one of those things which you can just kind of leave in at the start of the game and just do as much damage as you can, kind of whittle down the team gradually with Toxic, Signal Beam, whatever. And then once that's over, you can bring in the sweepers like Heat Maw, Raticate, whatever, and just try and clean up pretty much. So I go into Fargus here, predicting the Heal Bell, or I don't know, maybe Curse, not exactly sure. I think my thinking was I want to go to Mr. Mime here just in case he is some kind of Curse set with Heal Bell, Curse, Milk Drink, and like Body Slam or something, so I figured it was kind of the safe bet. Now he switches out, which I did kind of predict, but what I didn't predict was that he went into Bravery here, which kind of surprised me, so he's going to take a Psychic not very well at all, and that is actually going to take him out thanks to the Rocks damage. Now, my initial thinking was that he was going to either stay in or go to Cryogonal, because they could both take attacks pretty well, but I guess he predicted either Encore or some kind of status move, so yeah, I guess that play kind of made sense. So bring in Golduck here, who is hopefully going to be the guy to do the most damage to his team here. Like I said, it is a kind of new Hone Claw set I've been trying out, and if you want to see more footage of it, just go to my channel and search Golduck, it'll be there somewhere. Gonna go for Toxic here on me, which is definitely not good for me, but I figure he's probably not too threatened by Golduck, because chances are Golduck can't really do anything to Cryogonal anyway, so just gonna go for Hone Claws as he does stay in and go for a Rapid Spin. Now obviously I'm on a timer here because the Toxic damage is gonna start racking up, but I figure, hey, let's just go for it. Try and get as much damage as I possibly can on all his team while I'm in here, because I can probably OHKO most of his team. I mean, Porygon's gonna die to a Cross Chop, Cryogonal is definitely gonna die to a Cross Chop, Miltank possibly at the range of health it's at, but depending on EVs and whatnot, not exactly sure. Gabite will die to an Ice Punch, assuming I am faster. I am Adamant Nature, I think, and depending on whether he's Adamant or Jolly, he might outspeed, not exactly sure. But he does bring in his Gabite here, and he does actually outspeed me, so I can't really tell now if he is a Jolly Nature or he's Choice Scarfed, or maybe both. I kind of thought he might be a bulky setup kind of thing, so I kind of assumed he bought it in because he thought he could take an attack, not knowing that I had the Ice Punch, but hey, whatever, it kind of works out for him as he does take me out with an Earthquake. But now, assuming that he is Choice Scarfed, I go into Wormadam here just to take it and go for Toxic. Now again, this doesn't really tell me much because Earthquake would probably still be his best move to go for on a Wormadam, so again, I can't really tell yet what item he is, so I figure, okay, go for Toxic, then go for a Signal Beam just for damage, and the fact that that did so much damage kind of tells me that he's probably not a Violite and therefore probably Choice Scarfed, so just going to bear that in mind for later on. Now I do predict the switch here and go for Toxic because Wormadam is the king of predictions, but unfortunately not going to hit the Miltank. But to be fair, it didn't really make any difference because Miltank does have the Heal Bell anyway, so it's whatever, not really a big deal. But even though I know he has the Heal Bell, I figure I may as well keep going for Toxic just to try and pressurize it. And if he does kill off Wormadam, fine, I don't really care too much because he's done his job. He's done a pretty good job, I have to say. Wormadam is one of those things which just doesn't ever let me down. So I get off the Toxic there, and if he wants to go for Heal Bell, fine. I'm going to keep going for Toxic, and I might miss eventually, but at least I'm gaining leftovers in the meantime. But he decides to kill me off here, which is probably the good play, and obviously the Toxic damage is going to start to rack up fairly quickly. But because I know that he has to go for Heal Bell eventually, I can bring in my Heatmor here and just take the opportunity to set up a Hone Claws. Now the great thing about Black and White 2 coming out is that Heatmor actually got a load of boosts. Heatmor got Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, and I think Super Power, so that kind of works well with the whole Hone Claws, Sucker Punch kind of set. Because to be fair, Heatmor does actually have pretty good physical attack as well, but it just doesn't have the physical move pool. I think in this game I had Focus Blast, Fire Blast, Sucker Punch, and Hone Claws, which is still a pretty reasonable set, but I'd probably recommend the physical set over this. But in any case, gonna go for a Focus Blast, and that almost takes out the Miltank, and I thought, Heatmor, you do this once more and you're out of the team, buddy. Not standing for this. So he does take me out with a Body Slam here. I could have gone for Sucker Punch, but it's like, well, he could have Milk Drink, so it doesn't really matter too much. Heatmor, you did your job well. You did do a decent chunk of damage to the Miltank, so I'm pretty happy with him. So anyways, gonna bring in Raticate here and just go for a Facade because why not? May as well take him out there. And again, couldn't really go for Sucker Punch because he could have gone for Milk Drink, so not gonna risk that. Now he brings in Gigalith here, and you have no idea how close it was to clicking Me First. Now what Me First does is it takes their move and multiplies the base power by 1.5, so it's the equivalent of having the stab bonus on there, I guess, and uses it against them. So had I done that, I would have taken his Earthquake, used it against him, and looking at that U-turn damage, I don't know whether or not it would have killed him or not, but it would have been pretty close. And I don't know, it would have been nice, but I guess U-turn was the safe play in any case because I need Raticate pretty much to kill the rest of his team. So I'm going to go for a Giga Drain here just to play it safe, as he does predict that very nicely, and go into Cryogonal, which is again a bit of a defensive beast. Not going to take much from that at all. Now this is a bit of a weird Cradily set. It is Recover, Giga Drain, Ancient Power, which are all fairly standard, but my last move is actually Mirror Coat, so I could have gone for Mirror Coat here predicting that, but I kind of figured, well, he might go for Toxic, so I just kind of want to go for the safe damage in the form of Ancient Power, so yeah, that kind of works out. I mean, Cryogonal is taking these hits a lot better than I'm taking his because Cradily doesn't have the best of special attack, but in any case, I figure may as well get him down to a low range of health because Cryogonal has paper-thin physical defense, so whatever happens, he probably isn't going to outspeed my Raticate, so I can just bring that in and revenge kill. Now I get the random stat raise there from Ancient Power, which is pretty cool, but makes no difference whatsoever because he is going to outspeed me still and take me out with an Ice Beam, so didn't really matter. I mean, had he gone for a cover and tried to, you know, gain back some health because Ancient Power was doing less, I mean, that would have helped then, but hey, whatever. Gonna kill me off with an Ice Beam there, and he is at a pretty low range of health, and because he is a defensive variant with, you know, Ice Beam, Rapid Spin, probably Recover, possibly Toxic, I forget what his last move is. I figure, okay, just bring in Mr. Mime first. I don't want to bring in Raticate just yet, just in case he is, by some weird miracle, faster. And Raticate's the kind of guy I want to keep as high as health as possible because it is going to be the thing I need to take down the Gabite most likely. So here, I go for a sub, and I did not predict this at all, but it goes for an explosion, and that really does work out for me there because it means that obviously he's going to die, I'm going to live, and Fargus is just going to stand here being the troll he normally is in Pandemonium. If you don't know what Pandemonium is, look it up on YouTube. Actually, you probably don't want to know. So he brings in Gabite here, and this is where I find out he is definitely scuffed because there's no way he'd outspeed Mr. Mime otherwise. Takes me down with an Earthquake, and now I can just go ahead and bring in Raticate. It's looking like it's over, but Raticate, of course, does get access to Sucker Punch, so gonna be able to out-prioritize him there and take him out. So, that was a great game, House of Wolves 100. Really enjoyable, and it did kind of come down to the wire a bit there. If I didn't have priority, obviously that Gabite would have just destroyed me, so hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like rating and check out my channel, which is in the video description. But with that being said, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.